it is always from The leather required for soling boots and shoes must be tough, durable, and extremely flexible. It comes from tough and muscular animals, like the ox. It weathers extremes of climate, protected by a thick and sturdy hide. On arrival at the tannery, the hides are inspected before undergoing the first of the process to transform them into leather. It will take about 12 weeks, and which start with liming. In the lime yard, the hides are immersed in a specially prepared solution and allowed to soak for several days. This serves to loosen the roots of the hair and to rehydrate the hide, which also prepares the fibers to receive the tan. The hides are fed into a machine in which the bulk of the hair is scraped away from the outer surface, the grain side. All fleshy tissues which still cling to the inner surface of the skin are now cleared away in a second machine. On the rounding tables, the belly leaving the butts, from which the best quality sole leather is obtained. At this point, the hammerhead is indented with the rounder's mark, and from now on the hides can always be identified. The hide is now in a condition for a further careful cleansing called scudding, in which it is draped over the specially curved bench known throughout the industry as the beam, a term which has been passed down through the centuries by these skilled craftsmen. The tanning liquids, which are called liquors, in which the hides are submerged, have a vegetable origin and come from many corners of the earth. Mimosa from South Africa, Myrabolum from India, and the wood of the rare red quebracho tree from the jungles of South America. The hides are first dipped into a weak tanning liquid. The racks are raised so that they may be kept clear of one another to make certain that the tan is free to work on all surfaces uniformly. A vital part of the operations is to ensure that the hide is uniformly tanned. This is achieved by first immersing the hides in weak liquors from which they are passed to others more active and concentrated. Tanning is basically a method of preserving and serves to enrich and perpetuate the natural properties of the animal hides. By skillful variation of the tanner's art, hides are flexible and compact. After the first application of oil, the leather is hung to dry, and when semi-dry, it is set out, a cylinder with blunt blades being used to give it a smooth surface. A second oiling, and then, after drying again, the leather is rolled under high pressure, causing the fiber structure to become more compact, harder wearing, and water resistant. A final drying at controlled temperatures and a firm, tight bend of leather, ideal for cell material, crowns the tanner's endeavors. Constant research is conducted on leather to ensure its fitness for the job it is intended to do. Leather is a fibrous material, and under the microscope, the fibers suddenly spring into existence. Each fiber is made up of tens of thousands of fibrils, each finer than a hair, woven by nature into a strong, intricate network throughout the thickness of the leather. So advanced is modern tanning technique that the natural directions of the fibers can be altered at will, the better to fit the finished leather for the one specific task for which it may be required. Leather in its infinite variety satisfies every need. Fine snakeskin and rare leathers for exotic shoes. Leather for specialist footwear or for everyday walking shoes. There are leathers of various strengths and durability, not least of them the leather from which shoe soles are manufactured. After careful inspection and grading, the leather is passed on to the shoe manufacturer or repairer. Skillful cutting reduces the amount of wastage and so keeps down costs. Here, a finely adjusted machine trims the sole down to the exact shape ready for attachment to the shoes. The art of the designer is translated into the intricate knife which cuts out the upper. Now shaped to a last, the shoe upper is attached to the inner sole. The top sole can be attached to the uppers by various methods, each having special advantages for different types of shoe. The cement process of attachment is commonly used for ladies' light fashion footwear, such as casuals and long-soled court shoes. The sole is prepared with a coating of adhesive solution, and it is firmly fixed under pressure to the insole and upper of the shoe. Stitching the sole to the shoe is the traditional method still widely used. A channel is cut near the edge of the sole and the lip of the channel is raised. The stitches are firmly embedded inside the base of the channel. The channel lip is closed and rubbed down, protecting and concealing the line of stitches. This beveling machine shapes the sole edge and at the same time colors it before it is passed on to the polisher for finishing. The importance of properly fitted all-leather shoes cannot be too strongly emphasized. They are particularly essential for the growing child. Due to the unique fibrous nature of leather, it can be said in a sense to breathe. That means that vapors are free to pass out from inside the shoe, vitally important to foot health. The perspiration present when a healthy child is running and playing normally is able to evaporate. Only leather permits the feet to breathe in this healthy fashion. There is something irresistible about a muddy road, and it is as well to know that good leather shoes keep the feet warm and dry. Although vapors can pass through leather, liquids are kept out, just as the original hides protected the animal against the elements. Leather will repay a little care with faithful service. Muddy shoes should never be left for long. Mud should be carefully washed off and all traces removed. After washing, the shoes should be dried in a current of air and never put close to hot pipes or the fire. In the laboratory, this machine reproduces the flexing action of the foot while walking, measuring the resistance of the leather to penetration by water. A rigid test of the waterproof property of the materials. This plastic boot filled with water proves that the leather sole does not allow the water to penetrate, or in this case, to seep out. At the same time, the bubbles indicate how air can pass through the leather, thus contributing to foot health. Leather soles not only give protection to the feet on rough surfaces, they also provide insulation against heat and cold. Leather, when tested on ice, proves to have a higher temperature and against hot pavements. The considerable volume of stationary air between the fibrils makes leather a good insulator. These unique properties of leather have to be fully understood in the making of a shoe. Perhaps we can best appreciate the fine qualities of leather by watching the craftsman at work. Well tanned, exquisitely finished. Here is an ancient skill, the fulfillment of an art. As he waxes his threads and sews on the welt in readiness for the sew, his every movement reveals a complete understanding and familiarity with his materials, his tools, and with his craft. And the age-old terms are still used for his work, like honing, boning, and lasting. He handles the leather with affection which he could feel only for some natural, genuine material with which he and his fathers before him have worked for generations. The final stage of manufacture is the fixing of the sole. The leather springs in the hand, flexed backwards and forwards, much as it will do countless times throughout its existence. It is supple yet strong, protecting yet not restricting the movement. The completed shoe is a pleasure to handle and examine, for a well-made shoe is an object of real satisfaction, whether designed for heavy walking over the countryside or in the town, whether modeled for child or adult. But perhaps an especial pleasure is taken in the shape and line of ladies' shoes, for here the artist may permit himself a wider scope. Color and imagination contribute to elegance and to an attractive feminine style. This highly scientific treadmill, designed and built by the shoe industry research technologists, goes round and round, testing the various methods of shoemaking, strange steps which eat up the imaginary miles. Strange steps in the outer world also prove the value of leather. The men on duty are still walking their beat, still never giving a thought to the footwear that does them such good service, and that is as it should be. There is no reason why we should worry about the physical properties of leather. It is enough to say that leather assures foot health and comfort. For in all things, the great test is time and hard usage. The uneven country lane and the more exacting surfaces once we have wandered from the beaten track. The long miles which youth and high spirits are eager to take in their stride. The untrodden ways. We are ready for them all. For well shod, we are prepared for all trials, for whatever the miles may have in store. The countryside or the busy street, on business bound or pleasure bent. In every walk of life, leather footwear plays its vital part, protecting us, supporting us, sustaining and assisting us. Leather shoes and leather boots for every purpose, keeping our feet fit and comfortable, willingly accepting the incredible stress and strain our active lives impose. In leather, nature has endowed man with a unique material of matchless merit. The leather strong and supple that flexes with every movement. Leather that breathes like a second skin. Stout, sturdy leather that serves us faithfully and well. There's nothing like leather. The soul.